You wake up before your alarm. You grab your phone, open your email, you refresh it, and you still do not see the email that you have been waiting for. You finally recount that it's been 2 weeks since the final round. 3 interviews, one unpaid assignment, and in fact, even a culture fit conversation, which felt more personal than professional. But then you once again see the same role reposted. It is fresh, active, and hiring. So, what do you do? Now, as a curious, anxious human being, you refresh your inbox again just to ensure you have not missed out that email. And you still see nothing. No rejection, no feedback, no explanation. Just silence. And somehow, that silence is louder than any no could ever be. Now, if even a small part of what I just described felt uncomfortably familiar, then you already know. You have felt it, you have lived it, and you have waited through it. Yes, I'm talking about the hiring illusion, the silent, exhausting reality that more and more professionals are facing today. And that is what I am going to confront in this episode. Welcome to HRTechify, where I try to decode human resources, people, organization through some facts, statistics, and uncomfortable truth. So, what is really happening? Let's be clear. Ghost jobs are rarely accidental. They don't just happen. They exist because companies really want to signal growth to the market. In fact, even recruiters want to build pipelines because, just in case. Now, on paper, this looks very strategic. But in reality, someone always pays the price. And then who absorbs this impact? Yes, you guessed it right. It is the candidate. The candidates have invested their time, their energy, emotion. In most cases, all of it invested in good faith. But then there is no accountability. And the story gets even more ironic. Because while the candidates are emotionally invested, in many cases, companies continue to stay invested financially. So, despite the fact that hiring is not cheap, why are we doing this? In fact, multiple reports indicate that the average cost per hire can potentially run into several $1,000s per employee. And if in case you are, leveraging or utilizing any external recruitment agency, their fee alone can often range between 15% to 30% of a candidate's first year salary, which will depend upon, the seniority of the role that you are actually hiring for. In addition to all of this, now add the internal HR bandwidth that is required, the hiring manager hours, interview panel time, assessment platform cost, background check cost. And if you sum it all together, you will realize that the total hiring investment has the potential of actually reaching 20% or even more in certain cases of the annual compensation that you are hiring to the candidate. And therefore, that brings us back to the original question. If hiring is that expensive, why even run processes that are not real? And the answer is simple. Sometimes the optics of growth are prioritized over the discipline of execution. And this to me is not just inefficiency, it is pure flawed hiring design. Now, this then leads us to the talk of employer branding versus candidate reality. Most organizations actually say that they invest heavily in employer branding. In fact, today, talent strategy is not just an HR topic. It actually makes its space in the boardroom agenda. And companies talk about culture, transparency, candidate experience. But branding is not just this. Branding is not only about having a polished careers page or posting a diversity statement or even a regular LinkedIn we are hiring post kind of a thing. Branding is also more than this, which in my opinion is about, do you close interview loops? Do your team make sure to give timely feedback to the candidates? And above all, do you actually respect the time of the candidate? Because the ultimate truth is, even your hiring process is your culture, just under pressure. And pressure, according to me, reveals what branding hides. There is no doubt about it. So the question is, how do I really protect myself from this hiring illusion? Answer is not so easy, because truth be told, you cannot eliminate the risk of falling out in the trap of the hiring illusion. But yes, you can reduce it definitely. I mean, if you follow these certain steps, and if you know something which you are doing to keep yourself insulated from this hiring illusion, please do share it back with me as well. The first thing that I do is to check for role freshness. Now, if I see a role is reposted every 30 days or 6 months, that's the data. The second piece is, I have made this a habit of asking a question of what business problem will this role solve immediately? And if the answer that I receive is vague, I know that hiring is not an urgency for them. The third, and I think most of us experience it, is watching the communication patterns. If we observe repeated delays without any explanation, inconsistent communication, you can make it out that there are possibilities of internal misalignment at this point of time within the hiring team. Fourth, which is a little difficult, but I'll still share it, is, if possible, try to build a back channel intelligence. Now, this comes with a if, because not everybody will have access to people who can actually give you a back channel intelligence. But trust me, at any given time, information will always beat assumption. The last and the most important is, track your emotional ROI. If a process drains you more than it excites you, that's actually a good information for you to decide whether you want to move forward or not. So the next time when you wake up waiting for an email, remember, silence does not define your value. A reposted job will not erase your capability. And a broken hiring process is not a reflection of your worth. Hiring actually should be transparent, recruitment should be respectful, and growth should be real. Because for every application received, there is a human emotion waiting on the other side for dignity, clarity, and closure. Thank you for listening to HRTechify.